Hey guys, Darth here, back again with another video, and today I'm going to be doing an update on my top 10 Black Series 6-inch action figures. It's been a little while since I've done a top 10 Black Series figures. I've added quite a few figures to my collection since the last one. My Black Series 6-inch collection itself has grown significantly over the past little while, and with the passing of Force Friday and the new figures that came out and whatnot, I decided I'd do a update to my top 10 list. So first off, we're going to do honorable mentions. I picked 3 honorable mentions. So these are the honorable mentions are in no particular order, but first is the Scarif Stormtrooper Squad Leader. This is objectively the best Rogue One trooper we got that released. But for me, it's just an honorable mention. It is a really, really nice figure. Paint apps are really good. I did a little bit of customized work. I did some extra weathering on mine. But the accessory's nice. Articulation's really good. It's a really great figure. There's not much wrong with it, and it's really fun. So, yeah, he's in my honorable mentions. There are figures I like more than him. Next up is the First Order TIE Pilot. Yeah, a figure that I wasn't expecting to like at all when I first got it, but when I did pick it up, I actually really like it a lot. I'm not much of a pilot person, but I really do like this figure a lot. Articulation's decent. Well, as good as you want for a pilot figure. He comes with a blaster, and the sculpt and paint apps are just really, really good on this figure. I love the black armor and everything. It just looks so cool. It's just a really cool figure for some reason. And then lastly, for the honorable mentions, is a more recent one, which is the, well, somewhat more recent. It's the AT-AT pilot, or AT-AT driver, whatever you want to call it, whatever the packaging says at the time of day or whatever. Again, another figure that I wasn't expecting to like, because again, like the pilot, I'm not huge into the drivers or anything, but I picked them up and I really like this figure a lot. Articulation's just okay, because he has such the big box here and whatnot. You can't get the best aiming poses with his blaster. But aside from that, I mean, sculpt is fantastic, paint apps are really good. It's just a really nice piece just to display, even just staying there, it just looks really, really nice. And funny enough, my honorable mentions are trooper figures. But anyways, those are the honorable mentions, so we're going to move on to the top 10. And at number 10, these are ranked. And obviously, my personal bias, these are my favorite figures in my collection, so this only includes Black Series figures in my collection, and it's completely my bias. No, not really any objectivity. So first one up is the Kanan Jarrus figure. This figure came out a little while ago now, probably over a year ago now, I can't remember. But this is a really cool figure. Sculpt's really good. I think they really translated the look of Kanan into a realistic form very well. Paint apps are great. Articulation is pretty good. I would have liked some more bend in the elbow. It was not too bad. And his accessories are really good. He has this blaster, and you also get the lightsaber, which can come apart like in the show and be plugged on his belt in 2 different spots, like in the show, which is really, really cool. So I really like this figure a lot. Anyways, that's number 10. At number 9, we have Qui-Gon Jinn. Again, another really recent figure. And a figure I like more than I expected to. I mean, I knew I was probably going to like this figure, but it's actually a really well done figure. Head sculpt is pretty cool. They did this thing where they sculpted the eyes separately, I guess, and it turned out pretty nicely. I mean, it's obviously not 100% likeness, but it looks pretty good. I'm sure if it had more paint on the face, it would bring out the sculpt a lot more. I love that he came with the interchangeable hand. He has kind of the force gesturing mind trick hand is really cool. The lightsaber is really nice. Articulation is really good on this figure as well, and I love the sort of brown wash they gave to his robes to give it a sort of dirtier look, like he's been on Tatooine or something. And really, the only thing I would have liked for this figure is if he came with a Jedi robe. Anyways, that's number 9. We have the Imperial Death Trooper. At one point, this is my number 1 favorite figure in my Black Series 6-inch collection. It's moved up to number 7. I still really like this figure a lot. It's pretty close to being one of my favorite Imperial Troopers. Probably my second favorite, because the first favorite is coming up next. But this is a really awesome figure. I love the Death Troopers in the movie. I love the design. I love the concept behind them and everything. And the figure's pretty well executed. They're taller than other figures like they're supposed to be. Nice accessories. I like that you can store the pistol on their person, which is really cool. Sculpt and paint looks awesome. I think my only issue with them is they're just a little thin than maybe they should be. But aside from that, it's an awesome figure. Absolutely love it. Anyways, that was number 7, I believe. Moving on to number 7. Last one was number 8. Is the Sand Trooper from the very first wave of the Black Series 6-inch line. objectively, this is probably one of the best Black Series 6-inch figures ever made. For me, it's number 7, because they're just figures I like more, but this is a really, really awesome figure. There is very little wrong with this guy. He comes with a ton of accessories. He has 3 different blasters. You can take off the ammo pouch, you can take off the pauldron, you can remove the backpack. Excellent sculpt, with probably the best Stormtrooper helmet sculpt I've ever seen Hasbro produce, honestly. And the paint apps are awesome, and they even gave him this nice sandy wash to make him look like he's been trudging around on Tatooine for a little bit. It's just such an awesome figure. Articulation is great too. Just such an awesome figure. A knock in the park in Hasbro, and really unfortunate more figures in the Black Series weren't this good in quality. Anyways, that's number 7. Moving on to number 6. And at number 6 we have Jango Fett, which is again a somewhat more recent figure. And I really like this figure a lot. I really like the character of Jango Fett. He's Mandalorian, of course, so which is really cool. And it's just a really nice figure. This guy used to be a lot higher on my list, but it's gone up the list a bit just because there are some issues with it. There's figures that have come out since then that I just like a lot more. But it's really cool. He has some pretty decent sculpt going on. Articulation's pretty good for the most part. I would have liked different wrist hinges. Paint's really cool. We got a nice silver paint for the armor, and it has a black wash on it to give it some more detail, which is awesome. Comes with a bunch of accessories. You can remove the backpack. You got 2 pistols can be stored in the holster, and you can remove the helmet, which has a pretty decent Tamara Morrison head sculpt underneath. And aside from that, it's just some issues that bring him down. Like, mine hasn't broken yet, but apparently the hoses on his arm gauntlets there have a habit of breaking off. For some reason, he doesn't really want to stand straight. His hips like to move outwards, which is kind of dumb. And he can be a little bit of a pain to stand. He likes to be a bit back heavy or whatever and fall over and whatnot, which is unfortunate. But overall, it's a really, really cool figure. And I'm really happy to have it. Anyways, that was number 6. Now moving on to we have a really recent figure, and it's the Toys R Us exclusive Clone Commander Gree. This is a really, really cool figure. Pictures, I was stunned by pictures when I saw them, and having him in person, it's just such an excellent figure. It brings you back to like days of the Sand Trooper when quality was really showing in the figures, and this guy is definitely quality. I mean, it's just so cool. The helmet's awesome. I love the green reflective visor, all the colors, all the different greens. There's like probably at least 4 or 5 different shades of greens on here. The silver battle damage they added to it is awesome. The camouflage and everything going on is great. He has some new sculpted parts, which is awesome. And he comes with some great accessories with 2 blasters and the binoculars, which is awesome as well. And he has some great articulation, just making this such a solid figure, and I absolutely love this one. Anyways, moving on to the Sabine Wren figure from late 2016. And there's a lot of good stuff going on with this figure. Again, another Rebels figure that was translated into a realistic form, and there's so much done right. The paint apps are awesome. It's one of the more colorful figures, and a lot of the details and the prints on our armor are just put on very nice and crisp and cleanly. It looks great. Again, a Mandalorian, so you get the Mandalorian armor, and it's always cool to have another Mandalorian in the 6-inch scale. Articulation's really good for the most part. And she comes with a ton of accessories too, or a lot of accessories. She comes with her little spray paint gun, which I never would have thought they actually would have included with her. The helmet's removable. The helmet has a removable rangefinder, and she comes with her 2 Mandalorian blaster pistols, which can be slotted in the holsters. It's just a super cool figure, and there's not much more they could do to improve upon this figure. It's a very well done figure, and I'm very happy to have it. Anyways, moving on to a brand spanking new figure, and it is Grand Admiral Thrawn. I love the character, and I love this figure. It's such a good figure of that character, and I'm super pleased with it. I literally just reviewed it, and it's already very high on my top 10 list. I just absolutely love this figure. It's so cool. The paint apps, the sculpt, the articulation, it's all really, really good. The only thing that would make it better is if you had the accessories that the exclusive came with, but that's what makes it exclusive, so not really a complaint. Just such an epic figure. Super happy with this guy. One of my favorite figures. So awesome. Anyways, that is number 3, Darth Revan, and this figure will probably always be on my top 10 and probably always be in my top 5. It's just such an awesome figure. I love the sculpt. The paint apps are really good. It's super cool. They gave him both his red lightsaber and his purple lightsaber. Articulation's pretty solid on this guy. He has the wrist articulation I like on him for the most part. You can get him in a lot of great poses. The mask sculpt is absolutely awesome. They nailed the mask, I think. The hood, I'm happy. Even though it hinders articulation, I'm happy they went with the plastic hood because you can get that shape going with plastic a lot better than the soft goods. And you also got the soft good cape, which works really well and has all these tears and stuff on it, which is super cool. And it has the same sort of tear effect on the skirt as well. And it's just an absolutely awesome figure. A bit harder for people to get, but it's super cool, and I recommend it to anyone. Anyways, that's number 2. Moving on to number 1, which I'm sure many of you can probably guess. We have the 40th Anniversary Legacy Pack Darth Vader figure. This is the Red Eye variant, and I absolutely love this figure. It's one of my favorite action figures in my overall collection, not just my Black Series 6-inch collection. And Hasbro just nailed this figure. They definitely made amends from the last Darth Vader figure. Has an absolutely excellent head sculpt, in my opinion. It's pretty damn good. The paint on is also really nice, have a nice glossy look, and they even put some of the silver on it to give it that an extra shine, which is really cool. The red eyes look really nice. Everything's re-sculpted. The lightsaber is a new sculpt and looks absolutely awesome and can be clipped to his belt. He has the Force Choke sculpted hand. Articulation's great. Soft goods are really nice. They flow really well on the figure. Really my only major gripe, which isn't that major, is some of his joints are a little looser than I'd like them to be, but overall it's an absolutely awesome figure. The definitive Darth Vader from Hasbro, I'd say. And I think it's a must-have for anyone who's collecting the Black Series 6-inch line, and I absolutely love this figure a lot. Anyways, that is my top 10 Black Series 6-inch action figures as of today, which is September the 8th, 2017, I do believe. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and may the Force be with you.